Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where if your great balls are on fire, we suggest you consult a doctor. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our Great Balls of Fire preview show. We welcome you back after taking a week off. I got to see the sights in Colorado, have a lot of fun, attend a wedding and a family reunion, had a great old time. Now it is back to the grind, and we're going to put our nose to the grind. We should, as far as I can see, be at you every week all the way up through SummerSlam, including Mondays after Great Balls of Fire, Battleground, and, of course, SummerSlam. So we're getting ready, heading into that second biggest show of the year. We got a lot to talk about. So first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you do a search for Lost in the Midcard if you have not done so already. And that way you'll know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also find us on the YouTube. The links to those are on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Hit that like button. Go to the notes section. Our subscription links are right there. Also on the Twitter, we share a lot of stuff from the world of professional wrestling at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I am doing all right.
The wrestling world...
Is it weird?
The wrestling world seems to be back on the good side in all angles of the world, I think. Don't you agree?
I would be inclined to agree, but I would also question that isn't it weird that potentially the best top-to-bottom card WWE has produced so far this year is for a pay-per-view entitled Great Balls of Fire?
Yes. The only cool thing about Great Balls of Fire are those car emblems for each of the superstars. That's pretty cool. I like that. I would love to be able to purchase them. You know, you could buy car emblems and hood ornaments and stuff for your cars and stuff. So that'd almost be a kind of a cool merchandising idea. WWE shop, cut me in if you do it. Well, Matt, Slammiversary happened. I did not watch it.
It happened.
Is that all it happened? Is that it happened?
Yeah, I don't really feel. Besides the fact that the company's now officially Global Force Wrestling, I don't think anything noteworthy came out of the show. Like, if you watched it in a vacuum, it was a couple hours of good wrestling.
Impact on
like
steroids.
It wasn't a bad like pro wrestling show, but there was nothing noteworthy coming out of that show at all.
The question everybody wants,
it was just another wrestling show.
The question everybody wants answered that may not have seen it yet is did the Borash and Joseph Parks against Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner match stink up the joint? Was it great or better than we thought?
I would say 80% of the match took place as a pre-recorded vignette backstage. There really wasn't a whole lot of that. There really wasn't a whole lot of it for them to be able to screw up.
Okay.
And I felt like, it was definitely filmed in vein of like a Broken Universe type segment, like when the Hardys and DK, went in the back and did the brawl thing. It was definitely filmed along the veins of one of those. I felt the cameos made the match. Shark Boy showing up to get at Josh Matthews.
What?
And James Mitchell.
Oh yeah,
returning to give the mask to Joseph Park to turn him back into Abyss.
Yeah.
Like I felt those were like the highlights of the match.
And also, props to Jeremy Borash for taking a bump through thumbtacks.
Oh, that dude fucked his hand up bad, dude.
I think 30 or 40 puncture wounds I read.
Yeah, like it was pretty gruesome. Like he showed his they showed his hand when they were going up the aisle after the match, and yeah, he got it pretty bad. Props to a dude that shouldn't even have any business getting in the ring to begin with.
No, I mean at least Josh Matthews. Crazy. At least Josh Matthews trained to be a wrestler back in the day, so at least he probably.
Yeah, Matthews took the tax too.
Yeah.
So he took pretty sure he took a black hole slam right into him.
How was Robert? He
definitely took a move from Abyss right into the tax.
How was Robert Flores and Don West, and how great was it to hear Don West once again?
You know what? I will be perfectly honest with you. I would be much more interested in watching Impact every week if Flores and West were on commentary.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Flores for his first time ever calling professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Besides continually calling Chris Adonis Chris Masters.
Yeah.
I thought he did a fantastic job, and Don West was everything that I love about Don West and more. Those guys worked really well together. And I honestly think it's a gigantic disservice to the brand to go back to Borash, Matthews, and Pope on commentary starting this week.
So so there was no stipulation for commentary, or was that just a rumor, or was that
no commentary stipulation?
Did that just disappear? Or
no, there was no stipulation to begin with.
Oh, it was kind of a rumor type of deal.
If that rumor was out there, it was just a rumor. There was never a stipulation for this match to begin with.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would be honest. A pro wrestling show, the soundtrack is important, because if the soundtrack is annoying, you're not inclined to want to watch the product as much. And to be perfectly frank, the last couple months of Impact, the soundtrack has been very, very annoying. Yeah, they toned it down in India. The show was watchable while they were over there, but with the three of them sitting at the booth again with Pope again, like I completely fear the worst when I watch the show on DVR this weekend. I feel like it's going to be the same old shit that it was before the pay-per-view. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this whole quote-unquote feud is done and settled and they can just do commentary. But honestly, Flores and West were a breath of fresh air. And even if they couldn't get Flores back, Borash and West, or Brennan Tenay and West, or whatever, I feel like the product overall would be better for it by taking Matthews out
with Jarrett
of the booth and just
making
him do something else.
I think with Jarrett in control, the odds of Tenay and West reuniting is better than most.
Well, people keep asking who should go into the Hall of Fame and Bound for Glory.
Well, yeah.
And I think it should be Mike Tenay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should put Tenay in there, and I think they should bring him back to the company. I don't know what their plan is, and I don't know what they're gonna do. But if I was in charge of things, I would put Tenay in.
I think now that they've rebranded to Global Force Wrestling, it gives us hope that it possibly will change, but that'll remain to be seen. So when is the first? When is the first official post Slammiversary edition of Impact on television?
Tomorrow,
okay. So
or today for the people who are listening to this on Thursday.
So what they're taping right now is going to be starting tomorrow.
They taped Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So they taped 3 weeks of TV.
Okay.
So what they taped on Monday will air tomorrow.
Good deal.
And what they taped Tuesday will air next week, and what they taped tonight will air 2 weeks from now.
So no word on the commentary team then for tonight.
The commentary team is most certainly Pope, Matthews, and Borash. Those are who are sitting at the table Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay, gotcha.
So I know that for a fact.
Okay.
That's why I'm disappointed. I feel like they had a great thing with the commentary at their pay-per-view, and they're just gonna let it all slip away with the team that annoys people to begin with. But whatever.
One thing that lit up the professional wrestling world on July 1st and July 2nd was New Japan Pro Wrestling, the G1 special in the USA. I have yet to catch night 2 yet, but night 1, Matt, was what we saw on Access TV this past week. Night 1 was just absolutely great, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was a great showcase for a new fan who has never experienced New Japan Pro Wrestling before to come in and see what it's all about. Was it one of their amazing top to bottom blowaway shows like Dominion? No. But for somebody coming in, looking to experience the product for the first time, I thought it was an excellent introduction to New Japan, and I thought it was great. Like, I was really happy with it.
Yeah, the final 3 matches definitely delivered the most on the card. The night kicked off with Chaos, Beretta, and Romero from Roppongi Vice. The Briscoes and Will Ospreay, they took on the Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale, Marty Scurll, the Bucks, and Takahashi. And the good guys got the win there. Another major tag match followed with Los Ingobernables de Japan. That was comprised of Bushi, Evil, Takahashi, and Sonata. They took on Dragon Lee, the Legend, Juice and Thunder Liger, Titan, and Volador Jr. Basically a team made up of CMLL people there. The bad guys got the win on that one. Then we got the first 2 entrances into the 8-man tournament for the brand new IWGP United States Heavyweight title. Jay Lethal defeated Hangman Page in an 8.5-minute match, which was no surprise. I was sort of surprised that Sabre defeated Juice Robinson, though. How about you, Matt?
To me, the only surprise of the first round for me was Ishii defeating Naito. Which after that happened, I threw all of my predictions for how the tournament was going to go out the window.
Yeah.
And at that point, nothing. But honestly, the only things that surprised me were the fact that Ishii made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect him to win in round 1. I didn't expect him to win in round 2. And I certainly didn't expect him to win the finals. So I'm glad I wasn't over 3 there.
Yeah, because I know you said you wanted you thought this would be where Elgin kind of shines through as well.
Yeah, I definitely did. I definitely thought it was going to be Elgin and Naito in the finals, and both of those guys got bounced in the first round. So I was like, well, never mind.
Well, your March Madness bracket got busted.
Yeah, my issue was as soon as Lethal beat Hangman, I'm like, well, they didn't advance Hangman because Omega's going to beat Elgin. Because if Hangman advances, they're not going to have him face, Omega. They're not going to put the Bullet Club against each other in the semifinals. So I was like, as soon as Lethal won, I'm like, well, all right, well, that probably means, Omega's going over Elgin. And, like, the Ishii going over Naito in the first round, to me, was my biggest shock of the show. Like, I did not expect that at all. I was very, very surprised. But Ishii had a hell of a showing in the tournament. In his match with Omega, I loved it. One of the best matches I've seen this year. It was really fucking good.
One of the cool things was just how well New Japan has developed Juice Robinson. The crowd was really fully behind him, and interesting enough, Zack Sabre kind of worked heel in this match too, with some things. I thought that was great. The 8-man tag was okay. With I think it was more, a showcase for the young guys, David Finlay and Jay White, but also the Legend Tanahashi and also Kushida. It was kind of a highlight for them. It was no surprise that they defeated Billy Gunn and Yoshitatsu, the Hunter Club, and the Tempura Boys. So that was kind of an okay match, just more of a showcase to put over Finlay and White as future stars, I believe. I thought War Machine and Guerrillas of Destiny was just a brutal match for the IWGP Tag Championships. I was kind of surprised War Machine got over here, but happily surprised. I know you love those guys too, don't you, Matt?
Yeah, I love War Machine. Like, I was shocked when they dropped the titles as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. Look, it was pretty cool to give the United States a title change.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason why they put the titles on the Guerrillas to begin with. So they could, drop them back to War Machine in the States. I thought that was pretty cool. You get to see the crowning of a brand new champion, first time ever. You get a title change. Like New Japan delivered for the first time for their United States audience, and they've already announced that they will return to the United States in 2018. I really hope they come to the East Coast.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping they come somewhere in my vicinity, because I would really like to go to that show. I don't know where they're going in 2018. They didn't say, but I'm hoping it's somewhere East Coast.
So how often are they going to have United States shows, do you think?
It's July now, and they said they weren't returning until 2018.
Okay.
So maybe at most once or twice a year. I would assume maybe early 2018, late 2018. They could do something like that. I guarantee they'll probably gauge it every time they come over here. They'll come over, they'll gauge the reaction, they'll gauge, how well the seats sell, how much merchandise they move, and they'll estimate from there. I would assume every time they come over and it's successful, I would think that they'll want to come back and do it again. Mm-hmm. So, we'll find out. I'm excited about it.
I think there was a lot of talk about it. I think enough to where it felt like it was a success.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was a success. And if it wasn't, then I don't know what they would have. I don't know what they would need, to dub this as a success. But I most certainly thought the show was a success.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, the upset probably of the tournament, Ishii defeating Naito, and I was surprised. But hey, at least the title ain't gonna get thrown into the Pacific Ocean, because that's what Naito said he was gonna do. Probably my match of the night on night one was Kenny Omega, Michael Elgin.
I would agree.
Oi.
I think Omega stole the show both nights.
Yeah.
His match with Elgin on night one and his match with Ishii on night two. I feel like he stole the show both nights.
And, of course, the main event did not disappoint either. Cody took on Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Some great near falls. They used each other's finishers. Brandy Rhodes got involved. I thought the main event was a treat for the United States fans. Matt, what did you think of Cody and Okada?
I think it suffered from coming on right after Omega and Elgin.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the match was good, but I also felt at the same token, even as Omega and Elgin was ending, I'm like, damn, I feel bad for Okada and Cody, because they're not going to be able to follow this, and they didn't. The match was good. Don't get me wrong. It was a good main event match, and I didn't have a problem with it, but it wasn't nearly as good as what, Elgin and Kenny did prior.
No.
So I think it suffered a bit from going on right after that match.
What do you think of the dissension between Omega and Cody? It's kind of cracking a little bit. I think they both want to angle themselves as the leader of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. I'm not sure where they're going to go with that. There's a chance that they split this off NWO Wolfpack style, and they split Cody leading the Bullet Club while Omega and the Bucks and probably Marty Scurll run up the Elite.
Yeah. That would really be jumping the shark, though.
Look, I'm just saying I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would not rule it out.
Going to night two, I didn't get to see night two. I will catch this later this week. But let's just keep continuing on with the United States tournament. Ishii defeated Zack Sabre Jr., so a little surprised to you that he goes to the finals, Matt.
Yeah, I was surprised both times that it happened. So, yeah.
How about the Kenny Omega Jay Lethal match?
I didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
No, I missed a good bit of night two. I was planning on watching that on Access TV this Friday. I only caught the tails end of night two. I saw the last hour of the show.
Yeah, Omega Lethal and Ishii's Zack Sabre were the second and third matches of the night. The opener was Liger and Taguchi Japan, which is Finlay and Kushida, They took on the Tempura Boys and Yoshitatsu. They defeated them. 10-man tag match saw Dragon Lee, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Titan, and Volador Jr. defeat Los Ingobernables de Japan. The Bullet Club, Hangman Page, and the Guerrillas of Destiny, they defeated Elgin and War Machine. I'm not sure who pinned who, but I'm sure that sets up the rematch for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles. Did you see the Bucks and Roppongi Vice for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Titles?
No, I didn't.
The Bucks retained for that. A good night for the Bullet Club because the Bullet Club defeated Chaos in an 8-man tag where Bad Luck Fale, Cody, Marty Scurll, and Takahashi defeated the Briscoes, Will Ospreay, and Okada. Tanahashi defeated Billy Gunn for the Intercontinental title, and the main event of the evening was to crown the first ever IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion. Kenny Omega defeats the Stone Pitbull Ishii. So, though night 1 did not go the Bullet Club's way, night 2 definitely went the Bullet Club's way because none of them lost on night 2. So there you go. Good stuff there from New Japan. Great news for me. July 18th, I will be getting Access TV finally on my cable provider. So
better late than never.
Yes, so very excited for that. We had mentioned this a little bit when we briefly talked about the state of TNA, which is now Impact Wrestling, which is now Global Force Wrestling. Global Force Wrestling is now the official name going forward, as reported just prior to Slammiversary. Was it basically branded that way for Slammiversary, Matt?
Dude, it's so small that you don't even notice. Like, and it's the Impact Wrestling logo that we've seen for months with the the words Anthem in the bottom of the octagon or the hexagon or whatever the fuck the 6-sided ring is, and on the top on the top of the logo, it just says GFW.
So did they mention?
So it's GFW Impact Wrestling.
Did they call it
like the show? Like the company is GFW. The television show is Impact Wrestling.
So did they call the company GFW for Slammiversary?
Yeah, and no, if you're asking if at any point the words TNA were mentioned, no, they were not.
So that is, hey, Jeff Jarrett got his wish finally about 5 years later, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Got himself a TV deal for Global Force. The Battle of Los Angeles is coming soon, and so far 7 names have been announced for the Battle of Los Angeles 2017. Originally announced were Flamita, Keith Lee, Walter, and Travis Banks. Added to that list are Ray Phoenix, Desmond Xavier, and Donovan Dijak. An update on Tyson Kidd. He is now officially a member of the WWE once again as a full-time employee. He will now be working as a producer. Word was he was at both SmackDown and Raw this past week. He was observing the process, getting familiar with everything in regards to his jobs and responsibilities. I mean, obviously it's sad that we probably don't see him in the ring any longer, Matt, but great that he's back with the company. Hey, Matt, would you like to buy a Bullet Club umbrella?
Nope.
Okay. Pre-orders are up for Pro Wrestling Tees to buy the Marty Scurll Bullet Club umbrella. $35 plus shipping. That's all you need to fork out. When I was told of this, I go, oh, let me guess it's going to be like $100. So I was kind of surprised at the price.
It's an umbrella, dude.
It's an umbrella.
It ain't gonna be no damn $100 umbrella. They won't actually sell these damn things.
Well, you can go up and down the streets going whoop whoop.
Good one.
With the appearance of Drago and Hijo de Fantasma, which is better known as King Cuerno, people were starting to wonder if Global Force Wrestling was starting a partnership with Lucha Underground.
Nope.
Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, says, nope, this was a deal through AAA. That's why King Cuerno was called Hijo de Fantasma, because Lucha Underground owns the rights to that. But I believe AAA owns the rights to Fantasma and Drago. So that's why Drago, which is his name on Lucha Underground as well, was used on the Slammiversary show. Last week was an epic week for women in the WWE. Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT. The women main evented all three shows, and all three main events were great. And Triple H took to Twitter saying, 3 shows, 3 main events. I have a feeling this evolution is just getting started. Hashtag Mae Young Classic. Matt, you don't want to buy an umbrella with Bullet Club on it. How about a signed, autographed copy of Vince Russo's restraining order by Jim Cornette?
To me, look, it's for a great cause.
It is.
And I salute anybody who wants to buy it. But I have no desire to own something like that. You know,
Jim Cornette is selling autographed copies of the restraining order at jimcornette.com. Half the proceeds are going to be donated to the Crusade for Children charity, which benefits a number of children's charities in the state of Indiana and Kentucky. And you know, I'm looking at the website, and you figure it'd be like right in my face, you know, to be able to find this, but I can't even find.
Maybe he sold them all. I don't know.
He might have, because I was going to look for a price, but I can't even find.
It was like, when I looked, it was like $10.
Well, you can buy an action figure. So you can, if you want the corny action figure, you can go buy that from jimcornette.com. Fresh off the heels of the Kevin Owens DVD release on July 4th, which had sold out on Amazon already, a new one is coming out. It's called the Dawn of Attitude DVD set. This is going to be basically taking a look at the year of 1997, where WWE evolved into the Attitude Era. Some of the chapters in the documentary include evolution and transformation, pulling the curtain back. I'm guessing that might be the curtain call that Vince was so pissed off about at the time. Now it's in a DVD set. Epic storytelling, no limitations, the rise of Stone Cold, Raw is War, guerrilla programming. I'm going to assume that has to do with DX. Divas Emerge, Canadian Pride, Evolution of Triple H, Faces of Foley, Know Your Role, Uncertainty, Developmental Switch, BSK, and The Click, and ensuring success. So the opening chapter of the Attitude Era is going to come out on DVD, most likely on the network here shortly after as well. Some of the matches include go back to as early as January of '97, when Psycho Sid took on Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship, and goes all the way down to when Stone Cold met The Rock in November of '97.
And just a quick correction on my part. The protection order replica with the autograph is $8.
$8. I would buy it.
So I mean, that's not bad. You know,
I like Cornette. I'd frame that baby.
Well, it's a 9-page document, so I don't know if you really want to frame a 9-page document, but yeah, it's definitely there. Actually, if you're interested in buying it, JB, I will send you a link to it in a DM right now.
Do it. I'm a corny fan, so I might get that. For those that are disappointed that they have to watch New Japan World on their computers or their laptops or their tablets, good news. If you own an Amazon Fire Stick, New Japan just announced that an app has been released, and they have a New Japan app where you can watch their live events, video on demand, and all that stuff on your television straight through the Amazon Fire Stick. So good stuff there. I actually have one, so maybe now's the time for me to subscribe to New Japan World.
Not a bad idea.
They
it's cheaper than a network, dude.
Educate me on the live events. They have American commentary live.
More and more frequently they do have American commentary track with Kevin Kelly and someone who's I'm completely blanking on who the other guy is right now. I'm sorry to you, whoever you are. I don't remember. It's Kevin Kelly and somebody, and I'm completely blanking on who the other guy was. I mean, it used to be Kelly and Carino, but clearly that's not happening anymore since Carino's working at the Performance Center. I know Ross and Barnett did everything for the G1 USA thing this weekend, including NJPW World. They were the commentary track on there for the American track. I can't remember who works with Kevin Kelly on it, but yeah, there's definitely more and more of their shows are getting like an English commentary track with them, just because of the popularity that they're gaining over in the States right now.
And how much is a New Japan World subscription?
It's like $9.99 yen or whatever, and it comes out to cheaper than $10 American.
Nice.
So
lots of goodies on there though too.
Oh yeah, there's tons of content, man.
Yeah. And it's being available on the Amazon Fire Stick's just the first step. Roku's probably next, and it's gonna keep going on. Maybe gaming consoles will get the app eventually too. So New Japan spreading into the United States, and that's a good thing. Matt, what are your thoughts on some of the new ladies that were announced for the Mae Young Classic? We've got the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane. We've also got
which is a new name.
She was went as Kairi Hojo.
Yes, well, one of the people from Stardom who I wanted in this tournament who signed with the company. So, yeah, like they clearly you can tell who's coming in, who is signed with the company, and who hasn't. But if they're coming in and they have a new name, they've signed a contract with WWE.
Yeah,
so you don't even need to question that at that point.
Expect them to go far in the tournament.
Yeah, if they're coming in and they have a new name, they've signed a contract with the company.
Dakota Kai of New Zealand and Piper Niven of Scotland, as well as NXT superstar Bianca Belair, who I believe won the qualifying match against Aaliyah.
Stay out of my tournament, Aaliyah. Stay out of NXT. Stay out of my life.
Do you know anything about the other two ladies? We've seen Bianca before, but what about Dakota Kai and Piper Niven? Have you seen anything of those?
I'm almost positive both of those are new names, and since they're new names, I can't remember who they are.
Looks like they're from Shine and Shimmer. Dakota Kai was a tag champion with Ruby Riott. So there you go. Some trivia for you if you want to impress your friends. Some sad news. A couple of bits of sad news. We'll put them both together. Our condolences go out to Eric Young and his family. Yeah, we're just gonna put them together and get them taken care of. Condolences to the Eric Young family on the passing of his mother, and also well wishes for television personality Maria Menounos. You've seen her at WrestleMania and on the red carpet at WWE and the Hall of Fame and that. She was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. The prognosis is really good for Menounos, though. She underwent surgery to remove the tumor on June 9th, and a 6 to 7 chance that it will return. But also, her mother is dealing with stage 4 brain cancer at this time, too. So our thoughts are with the Menounos family as well as Eric Young's family. Some new content for the WWE Network coming in this July. The WWE 24 on Kurt Angle will air on this Monday after Monday Night Raw. So that'll be definitely one to look forward to. I mean, the Finn Balor one blew us out of the water. I can only imagine what the Kurt Angle one is going to be like. There's going to be a ride-along already out with a big show, Kurt Angle, Sheamus, and Cesaro. Have you seen that one yet, Matt?
It aired after Raw. I didn't watch it. So I don't really care for the ride-along series.
I have not. I watched the club one.
Yeah, so did I. I watched the one with the club. I watched the first one, like the debut of the series, and that's really all I've watched. I'm not like an overall big fan of Ride Along. I mean, it's fine if I just want some background noise on and that comes on, it's fine. But I don't really care.
A couple of good table for threes. I think this one's going to be great. I think the stories these guys are going to tell are great. The Godfather, Ron Simmons, and Mark Henry have a table for three. That's going to air the 24th of July after Raw. And also, the very next week, another new table for three with Lita, Corey Graves, and Renee Young. I think that one will be pretty decent as well. That will follow the final Raw of July on the 31st. And after Raw on the 17th, a new Bring It to the Table. It has been announced that former WWE Intercontinental Champion Santino Marella will officially return to the ring on August 27th for Destiny Wrestling in Canada. He will be teaming up with Global Force Champion Alberto El Patron. Santino retired in July 24th due to various neck injuries he had suffered. Was released from the WWE shortly a couple of years after that in 2016. Of course, Marella made his mark when he debuted in 2007 from Italy. Monday Night Raw took place in Italy, and he was just a fan coming out of the crowd to challenge Umaga. And thanks to Bobby Lashley, he became the Intercontinental Champion. I have read that he's been taking all sorts of different laser therapies. So, I mean, if the doctors give him the okay to go back into the ring and it's safe and it's a tag match where he probably is protected, I hear this is kind of... I heard this event is taking place at his wrestling academy as well, so this could just be a farewell, going out on my own terms type of deal, Matt. So I think as long as everything's good or safe for him, great for Santino. You agree?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't really have an issue with it.
I'd like to see him back to WWE. He was always a funny guy. Have another face-to-face with John Cena. Kurt Angle recently did an interview with Esquire Middle East to promote the WWE 2K video game coming out. As it was announced, he is the pre-order bonus. They asked him chances of seeing him in the WWE ring. Right now, I'm just concentrating on my behind-the-scenes role as a general manager. I haven't even had a physical test yet, and I don't expect to have one until the WWE has some more detail of what they want to do down the line. But is there a possibility? Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. I think it's more than likely to happen. I don't know if it has to do with this new storyline that's going on right now, but I'm sure it will happen eventually. I still haven't taken a physical, though, so I'm not going to get my hopes up until I do that.
And you know what? I want to call Kurt out on the carpet here.
All right.
As far as I know, and I can be completely wrong, but as far as I know, the part-time talents, the Brock Lesnar's, the John Cena's, the Rock, they don't come in and take physicals.
You're calling John Cena a part-timer?
Yes, I am. And I don't consider Kurt Angle a full-time performer. So if they're going to want him to get in the ring, which as far as I'm concerned, if they want him to get in the ring and he wants to get in the ring, it's already going to be done. They probably already have a plan on it and he's being coy.
Yeah.
He's not going to have to take a physical.
Because I'm sure,
under the word of the contract and law of their part-time talents, they don't give those guys that stuff. That's why Brock was never caught with any wellness violations.
Yeah, and on top of that, you and I both know this whole personal storyline has to do with Kurt Angle and probably ends back into the ring against Triple H.
That's what I'm expecting. So.
Also on the interview, perfect way to end his career. He goes, my main aim would be just to contribute and wrestle some of the younger guys. There's a lot of great talent now, and I'd love to be able to mix it up with them. I'd also imagine that being who I am, I'd get a pretty high profile match at WrestleMania if I did wrestle again. And yeah, I think everybody wants a title run. I'm 48 years old. I'm still in great shape. I can still go pretty hard in the ring. But then again, there are other talents out there that need the title more than I do. Don't get me wrong. It'd be a lot of fun if I got a title run. But at the same time, as long as I'm contributing and helping out with the company, I'll be happy with that. And on his motivation to return, he goes, well, I have 3 little ones who have never seen me wrestle, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-month-old. I've always wanted to return for them. Not only that, but I also feel like I owe it to the WWE Universe to come back and end my career where it all began. I know a lot of fans have been asking that for many years, and it hasn't been about feeding my ego, and it certainly hasn't been about making money. It's been about the WWE Universe, the fans, and my kids, and I want to show them what Daddy can really do. So really cool article there with Esquire Middle East. Now he's there to promote 2K18 as he's the pre-order bonus. Now I've been out of the loop, traveling out of state for most of the past week. Matt, any updates on 2K18 that you can share with us?
Yeah, actually there was a big update today. But before we get into that, I just want to say, everybody who's a weekly listener of Lost in the Midcard, you knew weeks ago that Kurt Angle was your pre-order bonus for WWE 2K18. Because you heard it here first, right here on Lost in the Midcard. You're welcome.
It's true.
And honestly, they wouldn't even be talking about it right now if Kurt wouldn't have jumped the gun and announced it on Twitter before 2K wanted him to.
It's
so, congratulations, Kurt. Never change. You're hilarious. I love you. And I'm so glad that you probably had 2K running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off for a random afternoon because you decided to go ahead and announce that you were the pre-order bonus 2 weeks before 2K wanted you to.
It's damn true.
I think it's hilarious. We're going to see the debut commercial for Kurt Angle as the pre-order bonus this Monday during Raw on the 10th. So I think that's the day that they were going to announce him as the pre-order bonus, and clearly, well, the cat's already out of the bag.
Oh, shit, let's get that graphic out. Oh, shit.
But as of today, the embargo lifted. There was a group of people that were brought out to 2K last week for a development summit to take a gander at WWE 2K18, and this is the base information that we got out of it. This is not everything. We can go into everything on a future date, but I'm just gonna run down. I'm gonna run down a couple things real quick. 8 men or women in the ring at once this year. Royal Rumbles, tag teams, Battle Royals, ladder matches. With the last gen being kicked to the curb and the new gen being here, they can do the 8 people in the ring now without the frame. With the frame data slowdown, they promise there's not going to be any lag or frame data issues. With 8 people being in the ring at once, I'll be perfectly honest, I'll believe it when I see it. We'll see how that works out. They are saying that also another thing, thanks to the last gen being gone, that the graphics engine this year is more along the lines of NBA 2K. So apparently it's going to look like worlds better than last year's game did, and more on par with their NBA franchise. The Creation Suite is said to get even deeper. New additions to that this year will be Create a Match. So if you remember the later versions of the WWE series on 360 and PS3, where you could edit and create your own match types, that's going to be back. Thank God. I will definitely. I feel like I can speak for a lot of WWE games fans that we've wanted this feature back since we went next gen. So it's about damn time we get it. There's also going to be features and improvements to create a superstar, create an arena, and create a video. Hopefully that means that the load times will be better, because the load times in 2K17 were brutal. 2K, fix your fucking load times. My Player will have a new My Player experience, introducing fighting styles and a brand new upgrade and progression system. What that means, kids, is AKA we're going to charge you out the ass for virtual currency like we do in NBA. They haven't announced that yet, but I'm putting money on that is what they're going to be doing. And of course they're not going to announce that yet because they know it's going to piss everybody off. My Career, a brand new My Career experience, incorporates a new story in a free roaming backstage area that enable My Player characters to interact with other WWE superstars and help direct the narrative. To me, that sounds like they're pulling inspiration from Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain, when you're able to walk around the backstage area and do shit before your match each week.
Yeah.
If they're going to do that, and it's going to be, and My Career is going to be a more condensed story with more replay value, I'm all about it. Maybe they're finally going to put a My Career in this series that's actually worth playing. They've also announced something called Road to Glory, which is going to be online. They haven't really said a whole lot of details about it. All they've said is it's an all-new mode that lets players compete against others using their My Player characters in a quest to qualify for WWE pay-per-view events.
You know what's funny about that name is that's the exact name...
Supercard.
No, well, that's the exact name that NCAA football called their My Player version of for NCAA football.
It's also an event mode in WWE Supercard. So
Really?
Clearly the name Road to Glory gets around.
They should have just called it Bound for Glory.
Oh my God, will you stop? As I touched on briefly earlier, there's a new graphics engine. The new visuals will deliver spectacular new lighting, more realistic skin, and new camera effects. They have added the feature into the creative video this year. A lot of people were upset that you couldn't take the camera and, move the free cam around to capture your highlights the way you wanted to. Free cam returns this year, so you're going to be able to do that. Your created videos will look much better this year than they did last year. New commentary team. I think everybody's saying thank God to that. It'll be a three-man team of Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. So Jerry Lawler, JBL, get the boot. Cole's in there with Saxton and Graves. Pretty much all this commentary has been done from the ground up. Apparently they've been recording together for this game since last year, and they said that they basically took the NBA 2K back-end commentary engine and have implemented it into WWE. I will tell anybody who is not a fan of the NBA 2K franchise that is hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, the best commentary track in sports games today. Yeah. So if the WWE game can actually even get half as good as what the NBA commentary is, this might be the first year ever where we get commentary that doesn't drive us crazy.
Yeah. I like to say on my past history with commentaries, the first year is kind of a little disjointed, but you'll see improvement. Madden is the big example of that. They went to a dynamic system, and it's amazing right now. So hopefully the WWE gets a good base this year, and then hopefully builds upon it.
Yeah, I surely hope so. They say core gameplay additions and improvements. A host of additional improvements will be made to WWE 2K18, the most comprehensive and realistic WWE game to date. They've talked about there's going to be some revamps in the universe mode that make it more story driven, which is clearly going to be a welcome addition. Backstage brawls have been expanded upon. They say the backstage is 3 times the size of the backstage brawl in last year's game. They've included like a parking lot and a garage and a loading dock area and stuff like that. So there's definitely going to be a lot more to do in the backstage brawls this year. A whole lot more new interactive objects and stuff like that. And unlike last year, backstage brawls will be playable online this year. So let's face it, everything they're saying sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, don't just sing it, bring it. And a lot of things 2K have said over the past few years have sounded great on paper. And then when you get the game, unfortunately, the promises that they were pretty much saying that you were going to get, they fell short in every possible way. I really want this game to be good. I really, really do. There's no franchise that I look forward to more coming out every year than WWE. I've been buying wrestling games since I was a little kid. It's my favorite game to get every year. But the last couple years from 2K have just been flat out disappointments. So hopefully 2K18 will be the game that we've all been waiting for, and hopefully it's going to totally take this franchise and move in a better direction for the future. One can only hope. Clearly, we'll get more information in the months to come to the October 17th release date for PS4 and Xbox One. So,
and for those complaining that it's not coming to last-gen systems, get over it.
Yeah, and honestly, all the cool stuff that they're doing this year wouldn't be possible if they still would have had to be focusing assets, time, and money on the 360 PS3 version. It was time to move on from that. It was time to move on from that generation.
We're coming up on 5 years.
Coming up maybe on 5 even 2 years ago. Yeah. So I'm glad it's gone. If you only have a PS3 and a 360, I'm sorry, but you're holding back the future of this franchise by expecting 2K to continue to cater to your outdated technology, and that's just the long and the short of it.
Some minor breaking news. Ring of Honor announced they were leaving Comet TV for the Charge Network, which to me seems like which to me seems like almost the same thing as Comet, with just a different, not a, what Comet was more kind of a sci-fi kind of thing. Charge actually launched February of this year, and it is owned by Sinclair, and it is also operated by MGM Television and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. So definitely network backings for the Charge Network, and it's owned by Sinclair, so it makes complete sense. I don't know if it's anywhere, but where it is, I'm looking at my affiliates right here, and looks like Omaha has. It looks like it's almost like Sinclair, like my KXVO, which is kind of the CW station, like a My Network TV station, something like that. Out of Omaha has it, so I guess it's similar to kind of that. There's a lot of. It's weird, but. Fledgling network just started in February, but that's where Ring of Honor is going to go. For those that don't have Sinclair, or you can also still watch it on the Fight app as well. Holiday week, we don't have any ratings except for one, the go home show for the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Well, not what Impact, Global Force Wrestling wanted. They take a huge dip. Nearly 80,000 people tuned out for the go-home show for Slammiversary, as they only got 268,000 people tuning in, as opposed to a fairly decent number of 342 the week before.
And honestly, this company needs to make up their mind, because they wanted to continually push that Slammiversary was their biggest show of the year. And then the same, the same company has promoted Bound for Glory as being their biggest show of the year. Saying the Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. So, what is it? Is it Slammiversary your biggest show of the year? Or is it, Slammiversary? They can't both be the biggest show of the year. So you guys need to make up your mind about what's what.
And finally, in headlines, as Matt said earlier, this Friday on Access TV will be night 2 of the G1 special in the USA, highlighted by the finals of the United States Championship and also the IWGP Intercontinental Championship and IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles are all on the line. NXT, a quick look back at last week's NXT. We're just going to talk about the main event, and also, hey, Matt, welcome Mauro Ranallo, right?
Thank God. Welcome back, buddy.
I would consider this possibly a match of the year candidate. But how about that Nikki Cross and Asuka match for the last women standing match for the women's title?
Oh, it was great.
Man, that was amazing. The finish where Asuka suplexes Nikki Cross through the announce table. The three announcers have to hightail it out of there. It was a pretty cool ending for sure. And how about a Hideo Itami and Oni Lorcan? Holy shit, those guys came at each other. I did not read up on this. What was the Itami's nose a legit thing?
Yes, Oni Lorcan broke two people's nose on the same tapings.
Who else did he break?
I can't remember for the life. He broke someone else's nose later on in the tapings, and it's escaping me at this point who it was. But yeah, he broke two people's nose in the same damn tapings. So the dude needs to fucking chill.
But Itami came out later on and says he still wants to fight. He took the fight to Lorcan. I just combined the name there with Hideo Itami getting the win. Then Cassius Ohno is called out by Itami. I don't know if they were going to try to bury the hatchet or whatnot, but Sanity came and attacked the two. And do you think that this leads to a mutual respect for Itami and Ohno, or is Itami turning heel?
I don't know. Hey, we're going to have to wait and see where this is going to go.
I don't really want him to turn heel right now. I thought he was just fine with the edge. Now he's got a little more edge, so it's even better. I think he could still be a face. He buries the hatchet with Lorcan and Ohno maybe. I don't know if Lorcan's going to be involved in that because there was the tag match this week. So, but yeah, last week ended with that amazing last women's standing match. Probably a match of the year candidate for sure for NXT. This week's NXT kicks off with that pair we just talked about, Ohno and Itami. They take on Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane from Sanity. Pretty decent match from those guys. Itami did ignore the call for a tag in the match, which made you kind of think if they were on the same page. And that led to Itami not putting Alexander Wolf in the GTS, not realizing that Killian Dane made a blind tag. Itami hits the go to sleep, but Dane hits a crossbody, and when Dane hits a crossbody on someone like Itami, that hurts, and that was the end of the match as Sanity gets the win.
When he hits a crossbody on anybody, it's gonna hurt.
But yeah, Itami especially. They showed footage from the Performance Center of Ember Moon basically wanting to face Asuka, but Ruby Riott kind of photobombed that and said that it's her time to get that shot. So I assume that Ruby probably gets Asuka one-on-one sometime between now and TakeOver Brooklyn, and then eventually we go back to Ember Moon.
Yeah, I believe that's what's going to happen.
Drew McIntyre interviewed backstage. Says the main event tonight between Roderick Strong and Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship is going to be a fantastic match. The next time they have this conversation, they will be talking about his title match. And apparently, it sounds like before we can get to Drew McIntyre and the winner of Strong and Roode, it sounds like they brought up Killian Dane's name, so it looks like that'll be the next roadblock for McIntyre to get through before he gets a shot at the NXT Championship, which we presume will be at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. They took a look at the video of Tommaso Ciampa making the surprise heel turn on Johnny Gargano. Unfortunately, we have seen the last of Ciampa in 2017. It sounds like his return is not going to be until next year. But Johnny Gargano will be back next week on NXT. They show the great and awesome iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, at the Performance Center. They basically were mad that no one wished Billy Kay a happy birthday. I think
Assholes.
I did. So they didn't see my tweet apparently, but oh well.
Bunch of jerks.
And going on in the background was the ongoing Thea Trinidad yelling at Andre Cien Almas thing that's going on, while Billy just wants cake. They showed highlights of Aaliyah losing her chance to qualify for the Mae Young Classic as Matt does a backflip.
Woot woot.
Only the second of two matches on the show, but hey, we got a big one here. This is a pay-per-view quality match with Roderick Strong versus Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship, and Matt, it did not disappoint, did it?
No, absolutely not. It was a takeover-worthy main event on weekly TV. So,
obviously the crux of the matter was when the referee Drake counted 3, but Bobby Roode's foot was clearly under the rope before the hand hit 3. Roddy thinking he had won, unfortunately no, and Roode hits a glorious DDT on the outside right in front of Roddy's family. And then it was all over as he hit yet another glorious DDT for the 3 count. Bobby Roode, still your NXT champion, a phenomenal match. Roddy working Roode's back with his patented backbreakers. Roode going for the knee, as he did with Shinsuke Nakamura. So a phenomenal, lengthy match there for the title. Go out of your way to catch that one, kids. And do you think that referee screw-up leads to a second chance for Roddy?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a triple threat with him and Drew and Roode at Brooklyn. Like, I don't know the direction they're going in. Like, I think it's going to be Drew and Roode one-on-one, because that's what I've been calling for months now. But I definitely wouldn't mind a triple threat with Roddy in there as well.
Yeah, that would be all right. I wouldn't hate that at all. I did not get to see 205 Live last night. I had so much to try to catch up on. Matt, did you get a chance to watch?
I did, but I don't really remember any. Like, I mean, the main event was good, but I don't really remember anything else in the show that was worth talking about.
Apparently, TJP maybe back to face. Him and Swan with a hug at the end of 205 Live.
There's a chance. Like, I don't know. They kind of played it up like he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, so, there'll be a story coming out of it.
Neville took out Lince Dorado to start the match. Before that, we had the Titus Worldwide talking about that, and obviously hyping up Tozawa's Cruiserweight Championship match at Great Balls of Fire. So Neville defeated Lince Dorado in a non-title match. Tony Nese was defeated by Jack Gallagher, and it appears that Brian Kendrick is going to be the next feud for Jack Gallagher. Then we got the silly stuff with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander. And then, of course, the main event, TJ Perkins versus Swan. Where Swan gets the win, they hug after the match. So interesting to see where that will go from there. Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, we're going to mix it up because obviously this is a Raw pay-per-view that we're previewing. So we're going to talk SmackDown live first. Live on the 4th of July from Phoenix, Arizona. And John Cena is back, baby. And John Cena, with his usual pep talk of how he loves the business, how he loves Independence Day, how he loves his country, how he's happy to be back, and calls himself a free agent. So I guess this is their way of saying we can put Cena on both shows now. I don't know.
Pretty much.
If he might show up if he shows up on Raw after Great Balls of Fire. Maybe, I don't know. Rusev's music hits as Rusev finally makes his debut on SmackDown Live. You know, it's great to see Rusev back and all, Matt, but I mean, we've seen this song and dance before, haven't we?
Yeah, I hate that they brought him back to feed him right to John. I absolutely hate it. So no, I'm not a fan of this at all. Like, Rusev deserves better, and continuing to take your talented guys and feeding them to John, it's just blah.
Yeah, I mean, we've done this all, pro America versus I hate America stuff. We've seen that all before with Rusev and Cena. Just, it was a WrestleMania match for crying out loud. Cena wanted to fight right now, but Rusev said no. But they are going to have a flag match at Battleground. Probably, yeah. Cena wins, so we can then look forward to his next challenge at SummerSlam, which I'm going to go out and say right now it is Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That the free agent thing, a little insight into our preview. I Strowman I expect to win the ambulance match, so I think Cena and Reigns is going to be SummerSlam.
I still hear rumblings for Goldberg.
That would be great too. Daniel Bryan is in his office, and Chad Gable shows up, so does AJ Styles. Bryan said he's tired of Kevin Owens complaining about how he's beat both guys and doesn't want him in the Battle Royal. And Bryan said, you're going to have a win in your in match, so Styles will take on Chad Gable. And that was next. And goddamn, Matt, that was a hell of a match, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was really good. Yeah, those guys clearly worked very well together.
They gave them 8 minutes, and it was a clinic. Gable put on a wrestling clinic to start off, and then it went into submission for submission, with Gable putting on the ankle lock and Styles countering it, putting on the calf crusher. It was a great moment when both guys tried to stand up at the same time and they fell back down because of the submission moves that were put on them. I thought that was a nice little touch. But in the end, Styles gets on a roll, hits the Pele kick and the phenomenal forearm to get a win after a great 8-minute match. And Styles picks up Gable after the match, kind of gives him a head nod, a sign of respect. And on Talking Smack later on, Styles put Gable way over, which I thought was cool. Is Jordan hurt? He must be hurt.
Jordan was in the Battle Royal.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
God, I didn't even see him in it. That's how much he had to be one of the first ones out, right?
I don't remember.
I know there was a couple eliminations.
He was definitely in there.
There were a couple eliminations where, like, oh, hey, Sin Cara just got tossed out. And they didn't even show him on camera. They just said, oh, hey, Sin Cara just got tossed out. So it must have been that, or I must have not been paying attention. I don't know. I don't even remember him in the match. Mojo Rawley looking down and out in the locker room, staring at his Hype Bro shirt. Ryder comes up to him and says, chin up. I got us both in the Battle Royal. And Mojo goes, that's a bad idea because I won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania. And Ryder goes, only because I wasn't in it. So Rawley thanks Ryder for getting him in the Battle Royal, and we probably know where that's going to lead to. Miss Money in the Bank comes out and starts gloating, but Naomi comes out and says there's somebody that wants to talk to you. That is none other than Daniel Bryan. Thunderous ovation for DB as he tells James Ellsworth, I'm fining you $10,000. And don't expect a paycheck for 30 days because you're suspended. And you don't get out of here, I'm stripping Carmella the briefcase. And so that led Carmella to say, bye, James. Once again, Naomi and Lana, because Lana's shoulder was up, they say. And so Lana gets a third opportunity at the SmackDown Women's title, and this lasted 5 seconds. Why? Why?
I was fuming, angry afterwards. I don't even want to talk about it right now because I know I'm just gonna get mad.
The only thing I can think of is, Lana had her shoulder up when she was supposed to have it down, and so they go, okay, well, let's just make sure there's no indecision here. Yeah, that was weird. And then another weird moment, Tamina came to the ring and told Lana to come with her. So I don't know where that's going, but maybe Tamina's gonna put some toughness into Lana. Not sure where that's going. So Nakamura interviewed backstage, talking about how he was not afraid of Baron Corbin and how he's going to hurt him, but before he could get a word out, Baron Corbin attacked him from behind. But then Nakamura fought back with a forearm before the refs showed up to break up the fight. That'll probably lead to a pretty damn good match at Battleground, and your stereotypical let's have the Money in the Bank match winner lose a match, because Vince likes to do that. Something that was a lot better than expected, the rap battle between New Day and Usos, hosted by rap superstar Wale, who's a big wrestling fan as well. So I think it was a good spot to put Wale in. I thought Wale did a phenomenal job here. And obviously the moment of the rap battle was a moment that was edited off the YouTube clip. But Jey Uso saying, "Big E, let's just keep it PG. You know what's good." And Jimmy says, "Just don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods." And a big, "Oh!"
Yeah, no shock at all that was edited off.
Crowd reacted to that one pretty good. What did you think of the rap battle, Matt?
It was fine for what it was. It was just them being goofy and silly. And it advanced the feud without them really having to get super physical. So, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I know Wally's been wanting to do something with the WWE for a long time.
Yeah. So
I'm happy for the dude that, he got to go in there and do something, rocking the old school NWO Wolfpack t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they popped for that because I'm pretty sure I had that when I was in high school. Yeah, it's...
He hosts Wale Mania at the site of WrestleMania every year.
Yeah. Dude's a big fan. It's about time somebody with that much popularity and mainstream entertainment is embraced by the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, dude has 5.5 million followers on Twitter, so and a pretty damn good artist too. Another great moment was when I can't remember if it was Xavier. He talked about how Jimmy is absolutely nothing until his wife put him on Total Divas. That got another big reaction from the crowd as well. Then they talked about how the Usos are just good at carrying Roman's bags, and that ended up in a fracas. And since the Usos started the physicality, Wale said they were disqualified. And the New Day and the former members of Adam Rose's Rosebuds were the winners. Seriously, that just reminded me of the Rosebuds. we had a sailor and hell, I can't remember what all was out.
Yeah, it was goofy, goofiness.
Aiden English was getting ready to do some singing before he was cut off by Randy Orton. And as Orton was doing his trademark pose on the turnbuckle, English said he's not done and hit Orton in the back with the microphone, and then whipped Orton into the steel steps. Good physicality for nice little hot start there, nice little mean streak for Aiden English. But I think we all know that just meant he was going to get his ass completely kicked, and yes, his ass got completely kicked. But Aiden English beat Randy Orton. So does that mean he gets added to the Punjabi prison match?
To me, it's just a case of Orton knowing how to get himself over with getting the talent he's working with over at the same time. John Cena can learn a lot from Mr. Orton.
I absolutely. I mean, it was a small flurry, but I absolutely loved the little mean streak by Aiden English. I mean, it gave him a lot of credibility.
And Orton didn't have to let that happen.
And he sold like he sold when the bell rang. He was still hurting,
much props to what the talent that Orton has helped elevate in the last couple of years. I wish I could say the same for John Jack.
Well, maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised when Rusev is next up in the title picture. I am not holding my breath, though.
Neither am I.
Jinder Mahal's music played, and fans chanted USA at him, and Mahal cuts his typical promo of everybody is prejudiced against him, and Orton said, just shut the hell up, and nobody likes you because you're a jackass. And so that's how that ended. Ty Dillinger walking backstage when Tenay Young came up to interview him. And Dillinger told Tenay that this is a match where he'll have to have eyes in the back of his head, and as he's talking, Fandango, dressed as a construction worker, was trying to sneak up behind him. And Dillinger ended it with saying, Tenay, I think you're a 10. And once again, the fashion police, Matt, do not fail to make us laugh, do they?
They're shining beacon of entertainment on SmackDown each and every week.
They said that Dango says we may have to come to blows, and but we'll be partners forever, as he caresses Tenay's blonde wig. And I hope to God we get a Talking Smack where Renee Young is co-hosting with Tenay Young. Do it, please.
No comment.
And then the best part about that is they went straight to Renee Young, who just couldn't hold it back. As she was interviewing Maria and Mike Kanellis, talking about the power of love. The more I see of this, Matt, I don't know if you're on the same page as me, but the more I see of this, I'm kind of starting to get the gimmick, and I'm kind of liking it. Like to see where it goes further, but at this point in time, in the early stages of it, Matt, I'm getting it, and I'm kind of liking it. And I like how
just put Mike in the damn ring and enough. I'm not liking it. I think it's terrible. I think you need to let Mike's ring work speak for itself at this point. And the quicker you can put him in the ring and start this feud with Sami Zayn, which it looks like is where they're going, the better it'll be for Mike. Because these backstage vignettes and segments, or whatever the hell you want to call them, are doing him absolutely no favors right now. The crowd does not care.
So the second week in a row, Sami Zayn accidentally interrupts the duo as he kicked over some pipes while he was stretching, getting ready for the Battle Royal. I kind of thought for sure Mike was going to cost him the Battle Royal, but that did not happen. And then now it is time for the main event, Independence Day Battle Royal, number one contender for the United States title at Battleground on July 23rd. Kevin Owens at the announce table. He was introduced by Tom Phillips, and he just replied,
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, my God. Kevin Owens is just great. I thought it was a well-done Battle Royal to main event SmackDown. Obviously, one big surprise was how quickly Dolph Ziggler got tossed over the top. And just as disappointing, Luke Harper basically followed him. Obviously, what we saw coming, I mean, it's not a full-on heel turn, but Mojo tossed out Zack Ryder.
What a douche.
And Zack Ryder looked all heartbroken. And Mojo, you probably should have done that because you got thrown right out afterwards. So next week's SmackDown, we'll probably see the fallout of that to see if Mojo turns heel or if Ryder turns heel or if they kiss and make up. But either way, the final three was a great final three. Ty Dillinger, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. Dillinger started off on fire against both of them, hit the tiebreaker on both of them, tried to dump both guys out at the same time, but they were able to hold on to the ropes. And then Sami Zayn gets Dillinger with a back body drop to eliminate Ty, and a lot of boos. A lot of people thought maybe Ty was going to somehow pull this one off. Zayn and Styles were the final two men, and Zayn hit an exploder suplex, went for the Helluva kick, but Styles moved, and Zayn's momentum took him over the ropes and onto the apron, and Styles hit a knee strike and a Pele kick, which gave AJ Styles the win after 10 minutes in a pretty fun battle royal with the time given. And we've got ourselves, I think, Ty again. I think they made him look like $1 million.
Yeah, they didn't hurt Ty at all with this appearance. They've been very selective with how they've used him on TV. Mm-hmm. And they definitely did not hurt him at all by losing this battle royal. Like, he was in there with two of the main event players on SmackDown, and kind of flukishly was eliminated. They booked him very well. He didn't lose anything off of this battle royal.
And the other thing to take from this is, obviously, this enables Zayn to probably have that match with Mike Kanellis. God, it's gonna be hard to get used to. At Battleground, AJ Styles. I mean, this is already shaping up to be a good Battleground card too. The Punjabi Prison, Styles and Owens, Kanellis and Zayn, possibly Nakamura and Corbin. So on paper, this is already shaping up to be a decent Battleground too.
Yeah, I think the Usos and the New Day again.
Yeah, and obviously,
I think it'll be Naomi and Charlotte.
Yeah,
that's what they kind of set up on Talking Smack.
Talking Smack, yeah.
So
I almost think that should be a save it for SummerSlam.
No, it could be ruined by Carmella.
And then it gets pushed to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Hype Bros, that's going to be a question mark going forward. But props to Chad Gable for showing it 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, last week was kind of a lot shorter match against Kevin Owens, but
I thought both matches had a good length to them. I didn't think either of them were relatively short.
The Gable Owens one was about 5 minutes. AJ and Gable was 8. So it was a little shorter last week. But Gable looking great there. I don't know what they are doing. I don't know if they're looking to split them up, trade Gable to Raw and have him with his idol Kurt Angle. I don't know. I'm baffled right now what they're doing with American Alpha.
Yeah, I keep insisting on going back to the fact that they're the group that are fucking with the Fashion Police. But they haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. They still haven't revealed which tag team it was. So, I still think it's going to end up being American Alpha, and they're going to turn them heel. But they haven't pulled that trigger yet. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Well, hopefully, on the next edition of the Fashion Files, we will get a report from the Ascension on how that Eddie Money concert went.
2 tickets to paradise.
I saw Eddie Money in quote unquote concert last year. He had the pre-race concert when I went to the NASCAR racing at Kansas Speedway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I got to see Eddie Money. I think he did like a 45-minute set. I mean, it was not just a little television promo thing. It was a full-on 45-minute set before the introduction, so it was pretty cool. I had tickets to the pit row there to be out in the grass and watch it before the driver introduction, so it was kind of cool. Monday Night Raw taking place also in Phoenix, Arizona. We kicked the show off with Enzo Amore. They announced that he will take on Big Cass at Great Balls of Fire. And Enzo did his usual promo on the way to the ring. And Enzo says that he's gone through a lot in his career. Endured a lot of attacks, and said Cass was supposed to have his back, but never really did have his back. Enzo talked about how for 5 years they were together, but Cass was never there for him. He says, now it's time for my mouth to go platinum. Enzo pointed out that he's been knocked down a lot in his career, but he keeps getting back up. He's one of the toughest guys in the ring today. Enzo said that he gets back all the time because he's a certified G. He says he's confident in his abilities. He's grateful more than anybody else, than anything else. He talks about how he would push his dad down the wishing well before joining the dark side with Big Cass, and he's grateful for every kid wearing a certified G shirt, a chain, a wig, because it helps him put food on the table. He also spoke that he believes in the good that he's doing, and it's just something he can't teach. He also had a line that he's crawled out of a lot of holes way taller than 7 feet. Enzo said cash is nothing more than a catchphrase that Enzo wrote. Enzo spoke about how nobody in this business gives bouncing a damn check than Enzo. He pointed out that Cass's next merchandise check will have 0 dimes on it, unless he starts wearing a shirt that says Casshole, and I hope that chant takes off. I think that would be a funny chant. Enzo was getting ready to leave, but changed his mind and said that that he's fired up and it's now all eyes on me, referencing Tupac, and then dropped the mic. I thought, again, Matt, I thought Cass did a great job with the promo here.
You mean Enzo?
Or Enzo, yeah.
Yes.
Enzo did a great,
I feel it was Enzo's best mic work since NXT. I feel like they gave him the proper time to go out there and say what he needed to say without being overly scripted by the creative team on the main roster. I thought it was a breath of fresh air letting someone like Enzo open the show with the promo instead of, the typical Roman Reigns or somebody like that. I really liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, they have opened and closed shows. They're really making this to be a big deal. So early to pull the trigger on it. But at the same time, in my mind, it makes a little sense that, they've never won tag gold, so now it does kind of make sense to pull the trigger this early, but at the same time, none of us wanted to see it happen. But at the same time, Enzo has shined, amazingly since then. So, Charlie Caruso interviewed Cass backstage, asked what his thoughts on that, and before Cass could really get much out, Enzo attacked him from the back, and then guys like Adam Pearce and the rest of the agents broke up the fight. So good work there by Enzo, and I have a feeling we'll probably get some Enzo getting the shit beat out of him, but he'll come close to near falls. I think I think we'll get some pretty good near falls with Cass probably coming out on top there. Tag match with the women. Bayley and Sasha Banks took on Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Pretty decent match, Matt, but I can't get behind the women's division on Raw right now. It just creative sucks for it, doesn't it?
Well, not only does creative suck for it, they continuing to make Bayley look like utter garbage.
Yeah, Nia Jax with the knee to the head on the outside, so they wheeled her off. Bayley
couldn't even get a win. Her team won, but she wasn't even allowed to be out there to win it. Nope. How terrible, is that Ed right now? It's just it's unbelievable, the way that they're treating that character. It blows my mind.
Yeah, and but Sasha looked strong as she was able to knock Nia Jax off of the apron and apply the bank statement on Alexa Bliss to basically win when she was down 1-2 in a handicap match. And so there you go. Raw General Manager Kurt Angle backstage when Braun Strowman shows up and goes, after you saw what I did to Roman Reigns last week, he's not going to be here tonight, which is pretty much a precursor to, he will be there later. But Strowman goes, I want some competition. And Angle said he's got a locker full of guys booked tonight, and no one really wants to face you right now. And says, but he goes, Angle, you're a smart guy. You'll figure it out. Once again, the building and booking of Braun Strowman has been phenomenal. I don't know why they don't build up guys like this more often, but anyways. They highlight a sit-down interview between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe for later in the show. Cedric Alexander made his entrance to the ring. They showed the clip from 205 Live where Noam Dar cost Alexander the match against Arya Daivari. And so Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar had a 3-minute match. Thought maybe this was the end of the feud with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox, but didn't sound like it was, according to 205 Live, right?
I just wanted to die. Just go away. Stop showing us this crap.
Miz TV, the guest was himself and his beautiful wife, Maurice, and his new Miz Taraj. And Miz ranted about LeVar Ball and saying that Lonzo Ball will be a big bust, just like Steve Nash was in Phoenix. So then that way, the fans cheered the old bagging on the balls. But then when they mentioned Steve Nash, boo! And he also talks some shit about Dean Ambrose, about how he cannot handle success, caves under the pressure. And then Ambrose came out and said he was shocked that there was another Miz TV segment after the train wreck with the Ball family. And he challenged Miz to an Intercontinental title match right there. But then Heath Slater interrupts and says, hey, I pinned The Miz last week. I should get the title shot. And then Kurt Angle comes out and says, Ambrose, you will get your rematch at Great Balls of Fire. But first, we are going to get an Intercontinental title match on Monday Night Raw between Heath Slater and The Miz. And to my knowledge, Matt, this was the first ever singles championship match for Heath Slater, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
I thought Miz and Heath Slater was a great match. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it. I thought they did really well.
Yeah, I thought Slater really looked believable at times, and poor Miz had a wardrobe malfunction. Because obviously Miz was not dressed to compete. He didn't think he was competing, and so he wrestled in his white Italian suit, which the shirt was ripped off by Heath Slater, and the pants were ripped off when Miz was going for his combination neckbreaker, backbreaker. Thank God he was wearing underwear.
I think Corey Graves referred to him as the Good Humor Ice Cream Man.
He did.
So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a very good comparison.
Oh, man. But, yeah, some great near falls. I think they made Slater look really good there. Makes me wonder if Slater does, if they break up Slater and Rhino, and Slater does kind of meddle around in the Intercontinental title picture going forward. But the Miz Taraj, much like they do when you have bad guys with two guys, the two guys distracted and beat up Rhino, distracting Slater, and that allowed Miz to get the skull-crushing finale on him and get the win after a 13-minute match. So, but good showing there by Heath Slater. Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews backstage talking about Titus worldwide, and Titus saying that facing Strowman is a perfect opportunity for Apollo Crews. Crews was reluctant about it at first, but eventually O'Neil sold it to him, and they chanted, Crews can't lose. But, yeah, I don't think anybody bet on Crews to beat Strowman. Goldust unveiled his movie, The Shattered Truth, which is basically the footage from his cameraman, who looks a lot like, what's his name? Rockstar Spud. Didn't that cameraman last week look like Rockstar Spud?
A little bit.
Basically the footage of his own cameraman showing Goldust with the beatdown. And after the movie, there's R-Truth eating some popcorn, and then he takes the fight to Goldust before Goldust bails, and they play R-Truth's music. Angle on the phone in the office, and Sheamus and Cesaro walk in, and Angle said he had a stipulation for the tag team title match at Great Balls of Fire. It's going to be a 30-minute Iron Man match against the Hardys. Cesaro and Sheamus says that's no problem because they're great athletes, but Cesaro wants some competition tonight to get ready for that Iron Man match. And Angle said he could face Strowman, but Cesaro wanted competition, and Angle suggested Strowman, and Cesaro goes, no, I'll face Finn Balor, because the internet buzzed about when Finn Balor and Cesaro were in the ring. So Angle said, okay, you've got that match. I am very happy with that stipulation, Matt. The tag team Iron Man
I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I would have preferred a better build to a match type of that magnitude. just because it was kind of like it was really like just thrown in there. I'm sure the match will be great. I mean, these guys always have great matches together. So yeah, I don't know. I felt like the match type was kind of just like, hey, guess what, we're doing this. I'm like, okay, it's not like you don't have other matches on this card that could have used more time, but yeah, let's give this 30 minutes.
Seth Rollins took on Kurt Hawkins for 7 seconds. That was about it. Then he cut a promo on Bray Wyatt. That just had the it's gonna be a good match, but the build to this feud really wasn't there. Hasn't been there for me between Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt.
Dude, they cut Bray's balls off, bringing him over to Raw. He hasn't meant anything since he's been back on Monday nights. He was benefiting so much more by being on SmackDown, and it really sucks for him that he's stuck on Raw.
Michael Cole is set to be the moderator for this interview between Joe and Lesnar, and Joe said, "Shut up, Cole. We're gonna talk. Men are talking here." I thought this sit-down interview was great. I thought Lesnar was great at it. I thought Joe was great at it. And then Joe walking backstage to look for Lesnar. I just thought I thought the whole thing was well done to build up excitement for the match. Do you agree, Matt?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with it at all. I thought it was great.
I thought it was unique having Joe looking for whatever room they put Lesnar in to start the fight, and obviously the fight never really happened, so they had to be they were pulled apart pretty quickly. Neville defeated Mustafa Ali in a 5-minute match for the not for the title. Bray Wyatt did a promo in a desert. Alexa Bliss was interviewed by Charlie Caruso asking about what happened earlier and about tapping out, and Alexa said it's a strategy. She just let Banks win to get in her head. Then we got ourselves probably the highlight of the night. Finn Balor, Cesaro, they went 15 minutes. I thought this was just a phenomenally great match. Hard-hitting, good stuff. Lots of interference towards the end of it, but overall, I don't think it hurt the match really. I thought it was completely a great match. What were your thoughts on that? Was that basically your highlight of the night as well?
Yeah, it was. They worked their asses off. It was good stuff.
Basically, Samson came out to distract Balor, and then Sheamus started to get involved. So then Matt and Jeff, who were on commentary, decided to even up the odds, and then Balor hits the coup de grace for the pinfall after a great 15-minute match. Braun Strowman, he's looking for some competition. Titus O'Neil came out and hyped up Apollo Crews, and not much offense from Crews here, but I think he got to showcase a little bit of fire against Braun Strowman. It wasn't a complete job, but it went about 5 minutes before Strowman hit 3 running power slams. Was going to beat on him some more when Titus O'Neil made the save and took a hit for his teammates. So I think I'm sure you're not agreeing with me here, but I'm starting to kind of like the face turn and the cohesiveness between Crews and Titus O'Neil. I think it's getting a little better. I think it was the right move to kind of go in a face direction for those guys. It was getting a little annoying on the heel side of things, where you had a heel.
I'm not completely buying that it's a face thing yet. You're gonna have to give me a couple more weeks of this before I can truly buy that that's what they're doing. Yeah. So I will take a wait and see approach to this. We can discuss this again at the beginning of August.
And the end of the show, ambulance starts blaring. We all thought Scott Steiner was making his return to Raw again, but nope. It's Roman Reigns. And they go at it again. And a pretty cool spear off the stage through a table to end the show. And so there you go. That was Monday Night Raw. So that leads us to Great Balls of Fire on this Sunday.
Yes.
Pre-show and 7 matches are on the card. Pre-show is the Cruiserweight Championship match. Neville against Akira Tozawa. Do we get a title change now, Matt, or are we waiting until SummerSlam?
I would have said you were seeing a title change until they put it on the pre-show. Now that it's on the pre-show, I don't see a title change. And if there is a title change, that really shows you how little they care about the Cruiserweight division at this point. If they put the title change on the pre-show, that'll tell you everything you have to know about the future of 205 Live if that title changes hands on Sunday on a pre-show match.
Yeah, they still need to follow the model of going to Full Sail, I think, because the crowd still is not really caring. The Raw crowd popped a little bit, during the Mustafa Ali Neville match because there were some great spots. But overall, 205 Live is a dead zone for the crowd. 30-man Iron Man match for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
A 30-man?
Boys, 30-minute.
Wow, 30-man Iron Man match. How about that shit?
Who's going to outlast who?
That sounds like a creative match mode in WWE 2K18.
I would love that. 30-man Iron Man match. It's like a gladiator match. Only one will come out.
You want to see frame rate crash the game to an absolute standstill? We're going to make it happen.
3 frames per second gameplay. Cesaro and Sheamus, Hardy Boys, 30-minute Iron Man match. Matt, who do you got?
I don't know what's going on with the broken gimmick right now. So I kind of feel like for now I'm going to say Cesaro and Sheamus and that the Hardys win the titles back at SummerSlam. But they also kind of teased on Twitter on Monday that they're looking at the Revival. So maybe they win the titles back and they move on to a feud with the Revival at SummerSlam. But I'm really not sure that this match can go either way, and that's a good thing. I like it when pay-per-view matches can go either way because it kind of makes the whole thing a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, I think the cohesiveness of Sheamus and Cesaro have made it built in a good long-term feud. Or a good long-term team of Cesaro and Sheamus, but at the same time, I think both of these teams can coexist without the titles and also can coexist as units in singles competition as well. We saw it with Cesaro taking on Finn Balor for sure on Monday Night Raw. With that said, I expect I expect a no contest. I think.
You think they're going to tie?
They're going to tie.
Well, don't they do sudden death?
They're going to tie, but they're going to be crashing through some kind of table or something.
Yeah, but dude, the last time they did the tie on an Iron Man match, they put it in the sudden death.
What if all 4 guys are laid out and can't get up?
Yeah, I don't think so, dude. I think you're going to get a winner.
Yeah. If I'm just going on the direction that we think the company is going with, Matt and Jeff, I'm gonna go with Cesaro and Sheamus here. Then I don't know who would be the next competitors for them, and who would be the SummerSlam feud. Like which face tag team?
The Hardys make more sense to take the titles to move into something with the Revival.
If Cass didn't turn on Enzo, this would clearly be the next step up for Cesaro and Sheamus. But is there even a face tag team out there?
I'm sure there is. I'm just not thinking of who they are at the top of my head right now. I'm sure there is.
Man.
I'm just.
The more I think about it, the more I think that this is going to have a no contest.
Make me go look at WWE.com. I'm telling you, dude, it ain't going to be a damn no contest. You have to pick a damn winner.
Man. Because then you could maybe have a triple threat. Throw the Revival in with those 2 teams.
It ain't going to be a no contest. Somebody going to win, somebody going to lose.
Yeah, I don't know. Intercontinental title on the line. Miz takes on Dean Ambrose. I fully expect they didn't put the Miz Taraj together for Miz to lose, so I expect Miz to retain here. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Miz needs the title more than Dean does, and they can move Dean on to something else.
Enzo against Cass. Are you in the favor of Cass is whooping up on Enzo, and then Enzo gets a couple of close near falls before Cass finally puts him away?
In all honesty, Enzo should win this match, but I just don't know how they're gonna do it.
Would it hurt Big Cass if he
No, because if he wins, it'll be a fluke. It'll be like a roll up or something. It's not gonna be like a
or Big Show KO punch when the ref ain't watching.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that, but yeah.
Shitty build up to the feud, but should be a good match. Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. I'm going Bray Wyatt.
You're funny. Rollins wins.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Bray Wyatt here and hope they get behind him finally.
Rollins.
Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks. What do you think is going to go down here?
Sasha got the tap out win on Monday, so it says that Bliss retains, but I would prefer to see a title change.
What would you like to see at SummerSlam for the women?
I wanted Sasha and Bayley, but clearly we ain't getting that. So
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell we're getting at SummerSlam.
My gut feeling is triple threat with Nia Jax added, but that's just my gut right now. I mean, hell, you got Mickie James sitting there, and they haven't done shit with her.
I really wish they would keep freaking. I really wish they keep Nia Jax out of the title picture.
Problem is, she's been in there with Alexa the last few weeks, so.
Yeah, and scanning over the WWE roster on WWE.com quickly, the only face tag team I can find on Raw right now besides the Hardys are Slater and Rhino.
Yeah.
So, clearly the Hardys should win because they've got a lot more people to work with.
So
it also says that Raw really needs to create some damn face tag teams.
Yeah. The Hardys win and add Revival at SummerSlam triple threat. Would you like that?
I mean, it'd be cool. I don't know if they're going to do it, but it's possible.
Ambulance match, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. I hope to God Braun Strowman wins. I still think Braun Strowman's going to win because I think they're going to go Strowman.
I feel like the winner's facing Brock at SummerSlam. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with Strowman just because that's who I want. That's the lesser of two evils. As far as I'm concerned, I'd much rather see Strowman and Lesnar than Reigns and Lesnar again.
And then the main event, Universal Championship on the line, Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar. So you say no chance for Joe, huh?
Prove me wrong, WWE, because I'll be the happiest motherfucker ever on the post-game show. But until you prove to me that you guys actually have a clue with what you're doing, WWE logic dictates that Lesnar wins this match. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's 100% a mistake.
The only bright side to this is he's going to be at SummerSlam, so at least the title will be defended in 5 weeks after.
Yeah, but it's still a mistake. Joe should win this match on Sunday, but I do not have faith in Vince to let it happen.
The performance Joe has had since being the number one contender, I think is showing Vince that he can be that guy.
I hope so.
That's my only glimmer of hope. I'm not picking him to win. I'm going to pick Lesnar, but the fact that he has been on fire since being number one contender in promos, everything. I mean, he had the best non-wrestling segment of the year with Paul Heyman when he put him in the Coquina Clutch. So I'm trying to will a win for Joe, but I won't predict it because it's Vince.
There's never a time Well, I want to be wrong more than I want to be wrong right now.
Yeah. Surprise us, WWE, please. Remember way back when I said the title could change at Great Balls of Fire just because it's such a ridiculous name, but they want to leave a lasting impression on the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Maybe. When I said that, whenever Great Balls of Fire was announced, maybe that premonition will lead to some couple of happy Joes here. No pun intended. That's going to do it for Lost in the Midcard this week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to catch us on Monday as we give you our reaction to Great Balls of Fire. And so there you go. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. If you haven't done so already, search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to do the same and share it with everybody you know. That way you know every time we come at you with a new episode, almost every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, and the links to all those are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. Head to the notes section there. We're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into the sunset and get ready to light our balls on fire, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I hope that this pay-per-view is as good in execution as it is on paper. Much like I hope WWE 2K18 will be as good in execution as it seems on paper. So we're in wait-and-see mode with a lot of WWE-centric things this year. And we're going to start this Sunday with Great Balls of Fire.
For sure. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We will be back at you with our reaction on that Great Ball of Fire on Monday.